You're listening to content developed by the GoPro Radio Network, the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
Hi, I'm Shawnee, and whenever I want to listen to something profound and I'm having a moment, I go to GoPro Radio, the fastest growing network in the galaxy.
All right, folks, welcome to another episode of
we here.
Show. Hey, welcome, everyone. I'm super excited about the show and the show today. How's everybody's day going? Let me go check in with everybody. Oh, we got some folks here in the room already. By the way, folks who are checking us out on Facebook, all you have to do is go to GoProRadio.com and click on that Join Live button, and then you can join us here in the room. And this way you'll be able to talk to me, see us, and ask us your questions.
Don't be shy.
Yeah,
just
come on in, man.
Bring your ass up.
You know what I'm saying? And Dream, oh man, I'm so sorry. Tell me how your birthday party was.
Oh man.
I'm so sorry I missed it.
It's all good. It's all good, man. I appreciate.
Did you get the drink?
I appreciate it, man. You definitely got me a little.
Yep. I hooked him up, folks. I hooked him up. That's all. He got hooked up. Although I wasn't there, my presence was felt.
Your presence was felt, man. And every day above ground is a blessing, man. There was something going on with the family, but luckily I don't have bad news. My brother's pulling through, so
wow.
I was able to actually celebrate. I was about to cancel the dinner.
Whoa. Well, I'm glad that everything worked out, man. It worked out for the best, as you know. Things are, we used to say this in Brownsville, East New York, every knock is a boost. We got these challenges and stuff like that, and it works out. Let me say hello to people who are still loading. Let me say hello to Lydia Percy. By the way, folks, Lydia Percy has an exquisite program on our network. It's called Lydia's Lyrical Lounge. I don't know what you're doing with your life if you're not showing up every Thursday here at 10 o'clock. She sets it off ladies' night. So it's good to see Lydia is here joining us on the Tantrum Artist Management Show. Oh, we got the lovely Amanda out there, and I see her, Jacqueline from the West Coast. How you doing, Jacqueline?
Jacqueline?
She's in the house. Jackie's here. Sonny B. Sutherland
Senior.
Senior is here. The legendary radio. Sonny's back. He had to take some time off, and I'm so glad that he's back. And I don't know what happened. I think he must have got something, and he's kicking down the doors now. I think he got too much rest. He's like, yeah, man. Did you check out his show last Friday? Oh, man, it was awesome. Powerful. And then he did a powerful show yesterday. Man, and I was in transportation, so we didn't do the Facebook Live thing, but we're going to repost it, Sonny. I promise you. And Jamel Sutherland is in the house. That's Sonny's son. He's always here in the house. We got JT. The Wolf is in the house. We got Up in the Sky, To Bird is a Plane. It's Super Black Man. And then we got our special guest, the honor today, man. I'm telling you, the show is going to be super fire. We got Jason A. Spenser Edwards in the house. And if you don't know him, you better go ask somebody too, because we're going to have a very, very interesting and powerful conversation about so many different things. Let me turn off this music. It's like, okay, enough of it. So, yeah. So, and Jason, I'm going to tell you, my daughter, I spoke to her earlier. Before I get to that part, because I'm ahead of myself. I'm a little ahead of myself because I know Jason, and so we've been talking and chatting. So sometimes we have these elevated conversations, and people say, "What are they talking about?" Right?
Right. For the three people in the world who don't know Jason.
Yeah. We got to tell them. We got to tell those three people, right? He's a New York based author, but he's so much more than that. And I know I'm so grateful that he decided to do this. I'm humbled by it. I know he's a very, very busy person. But my daughters grew up on his books. He got from the gritty realism of Jiggy. I don't know if you got that book, to just these powerful moral awakenings. Like in Patrol Boy. I don't know if you got that book. He has built a literary brand and legacy, and his legacy speaks directly to the hearts of today's youth. So his story, it widely is embraced in New York City classrooms all over, and that's how I got these books. And she started coming in. There's another book she guys called "I Got It Made," another book called "A Valuable Lesson," "True Grit." And so my daughter, she wanted to be here, Jason, because she wanted to
Really?
she wanted to tell you the impact those books had on her life. But she's working at a casino. And so she
Oh,
can't.
wow.
So just in case she has her earpiece on, she don't want to get in trouble. I want to shout out Taya Rain Washington, who just
Hi,
loved.
Taya.
Yeah, hi
Awesome.
Taya.
What up,
Yeah,
Taya?
Taya. Yep, Taya. So Taya is probably listening right now, and she's probably looking around, seeing if I hope I'm not getting in trouble. Yeah. But anyway,
That's
but
funny.
she wanted to just let you know. She wanted me to let you know that she really enjoyed your books. And guess what?
Awesome.
I want to share my screen with people because I was doing a little research, for today's show, having Jason on, folks, and this is so hilarious. And I was like, okay, well, let me see if I could, get some books, and I said, let me see if I can order, so I just I just want you guys to see this real quick. I said, let me see if I could, get this brother's book. So I went to what did I go? I went to Amazon,
Okay.
right? And check this out, folks. Y'all are gonna really crack up. His book is going for $630 and 77 cents. Can y'all see the screen? Y'all see my screen? I took a screenshot of this. I would tell this brother, I got a couple of these books. By the way, I'm serious. I got a couple of these books. I'm like, ooh, I better hold on to these. Do y'all see the screen?
That is funny.
Look at it.
Damn.
$630.77 and $3.99 to have it delivered. Now you can get it used for $43.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, these books have
But do you
become
want
a
to use?
staple. Yeah, you don't want it used. You don't want these books used. And I think he has a very unique and elegant way of tapping into some of the young people and being able to tell stories. And he's continuing that legacy of telling stories now through music as well. So I just thought that it was so good to have him on to talk to our audience because our audience is primarily emerging artists, people who are actors, writers, filmmakers, and big shout out to
Nice.
Zoe Poindexter, who is just a pleasure. I've been working with her for the last few days, and it's crazy. She is going. I mean, young people who are just these visionary, and so it is really on shoulders like people like Jason, a Spenser Edwards, that a lot of these talented people who get inspiration and draw from, and can find the pathway to them following through on what they desire to do. So, folks, yeah, I see the numbers are actually growing on Facebook. You can come on in and you could talk to Jason, and maybe he might give you a discount on the book. I don't. I was like 6 hours. I said, wait a minute now. And then I started looking for the books that I had. I was like, let me hold on to these, man. I
I
probably
know,
got
right?
about $5,000 worth of his books. But I really want to start there because I want to definitely go into music. And what I like about Jason, I'm just going to tell folks this because I know him. He's really, I can't tell, it's really down to earth, just a cool
Thank you.
spirit, just somebody really just great to know. I just want to ask, like, what motivated your your passion to just push forward and say, I want to take it out of this idea, right? Going from the idea phase of, okay, I got to follow through, and I want to write my very first book. That had to be.
Definitely.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Definitely. I mean, before I started writing, I used to coach basketball, and I'm from Queens.
Hmm.
I actually grew up in Lawton, Queens,
Shout out.
and I used to be a coach at Jamaica and Parsons Archer. So they
Mm.
had a program where where I was the coach and I would give the children different skills, but at the same time, I took over from another coach who brought me up when I was younger and I was in the program.
Mhm.
And we had this session where we would talk about the importance of education and the importance of reading.
Mhm.
So within that kind of connection, I started noticing that the kids weren't reading, right? So this is going all the way back to the year 2000.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
saw the kids weren't reading. So I said to one of the guys, I said, "Why don't you read?"
Mm.
He said, "Well, I don't really see that many books that I see myself in, and they
Mm.
don't deal with the situations and things that I have."
Mhm. Mhm.
And I said,
Mm.
so I said to myself, okay, that's
Mhm.
interesting. So, being that I'm an avid reader, I started reading at the age of 3 years old. My mother had me reading at 3 years old. I decided, what would I like to do? So I noticed we're all young, right? So I'm a 70s baby. And, you know, and within being that a 70s baby and, the inception of hip hop and different musical outlets, everybody wanted to be fly. Everybody wanted to have on the new sneakers and new clothes.
Mhm.
So at the time, that was around the time with you wanting to always have fresh sneakers. My parents were the type of individuals that decided that I was only going to get one pair of sneakers every 6 to 8 months,
Mm.
and I could do whatever I needed to do with it.
Mhm.
I could clean it, I could not clean it, but
Mhm.
there was nothing happening from that. So
Mhm.
within that time, I kind of learned responsibility because I still wanted to be
Mm.
fly. I still wanted to be important. I still wanted to be
Look
seen.
good.
It looked good, exactly. And I'll never forget the time I was actually how I ended up getting writing the book. I was probably like in the third or fourth grade. I'll never forget the girl's name. Her name was Ajuba. Ajuba was like about 6 feet tall in the
Mhm.
third grade.
Wow.
And I remember putting myself in a situation where I was playing tag with her and I ripped my sneakers on the gate, trying to get away from her. So within me ripping the sneakers, I went back home. I said, "Mom, I got into this little thing with Fajuba and stuff like that. I ripped my sneakers and, I have a big hole in it. And, I'm going to school and it's embarrassing and stuff like that. I'm really sorry about what I did. Can we, up the time and I won't have to worry about getting the sneakers?" She said, "Like I said to you, you get a pair of sneakers every 6 to 8 months." So within that 6 to 8 month period, I went to school every day with that hole
Mm.
in my sneaker.
Mm.
So that's moving forward is to the inception or the seed idea of me writing my first novel in 2000, 2001, which is entitled Jiggy. So
Mhm.
Jiggy is about a young boy who wanted to be fly and he wanted to have all the latest stuff. So
Mhm.
within that time of him learning that, I created a story and just with the moral base of saying that you're more than what you own, right? Your worth isn't determined by
That's
your
right.
possessions, right? It's more determined on
Mm.
how you treat people and
Mhm.
how you see the world and how you
Mhm.
can be help to others
Mm.
to be able to achieve their goals, be successful, etc. So
Mm.
I wrote that book in 2001,
Mhm.
and that was my first book. So, we're on the screen here and everybody's an entrepreneur. And I said, okay, now that I've written this book, what am I going to do?
Mm.
So I had a cousin of mine. I
Mm.
won't say my cousin's name, but my cousin owned like a newspaper, and he said, now you got the book and stuff like that. I think that I'll help you publish the book.
Mhm.
Um, we'll sign a contract.
Mhm.
I'll own most of the rights to it, but I want you to pay me for my contacts, etc.
Mm.
So I said to myself, why would I do that when I wrote the stuff? He said, well, this is kind of how it is. If you get a deal X, Y, and Z, this is how it kind of works, right? You're gonna own the rights for everything. So I'm a Leo in my personality, and I said, you know what?
Mhm.
Let me think about it. So fast forwarding, um, at that time, I'm now, of course, a college graduate, right?
Mhm.
In my
Mhm.
early, late 20s.
Mhm.
And I decided, you know what?
Mhm.
I'm going to publish my own book and I'm going to use
Mhm.
my own money.
There you go.
So what I did is, as a paralegal, I started like in 2000 or so.
Mhm.
I saved $50,000. It took me 2 years.
Mhm.
$50,000 in 2 years. I worked 14 hours a day, 7 days a week as a paralegal. Worked in a
Mhm.
lot of law firms in the city. And then I printed my first book, which was Jiggy. Right. So now I have that. I made sure I got my copyright. This is way back then where you still had to dial up on the internet.
That's right.
So I created that cover of my book through, I believe it could have been Adobe or one of those
clip art.
Right, exactly. Almost like flip art, right? So exactly. So I did that and I printed the book. And when I came back home, I'll never forget the conversation I had with my mother. My mother's like, look, you went to school, you were thinking about going to law school. I spent all that money on college, and now you want to become a writer. You understand that being a writer is a job where you don't make much money. And I don't know what you want to do. And I don't know, it was just something in me that decided that I'm going to take a chance. So now when you have a product, and these are all for the entrepreneurs, how are you going to get people to buy your stuff, right? You can go to the bookstores, you can try to sell it to family and X, Y, and Z. So what I decided to do was I wanted to get my feet wet and see what the people say, right? You create a product,
Right.
and one of the things about creating a product is that you want to see what the fans think, right? Because we all love our own stuff, right? So, but how does the public receive what it is that you're actually giving them? So what I did was I sold it to my neighbor, lived in Queens, and that was my first book, which was $10. So after that, I said, okay, this is $10. What am I going to do next? So what I did was I decided I took about 20 books. I put it in like a Samsonite like carrying thing. And I got on the bus and I went up to Hillside Avenue in Queens. I decided that since they had the different car dealerships, I was going to go into every establishment I could and decided to see if I could sell a book. I was up and down the streets, every business person, and I sold 2 books within like 6 hours. That was the happiest $20 I made. So within the time that I sold that $20, I said, what am I going to do next? So one lady said, we don't really get too much traffic because nobody really comes up and down this area. Maybe you should go to Sutton Boulevard where the Long Island Railroad is. So I said, okay, let me do that. I went down there. I went to the, at the time, like a little dollar store, right? And they didn't have dollar stores at the point, and bought like a little tray, like those little wooden trays. Right. And I put it on and I bought a red cover, put the red cover on, and I traveled to Sutton Boulevard and Long Island Railroad and made sure, it's very important to do your research, I got my sales tax certificate, right? I incorporated myself, created my publishing company, make sure that everything's set up, got my sales tax certificate, figured out what the dimensions were on a corner, not in front of somebody's store, and every person that went past there, I tried to sell my book, right? Because now I'm into something that I don't know how to do. And what ended up happening is I was out there for hours. And then I saw a friend of mine who I graduated from college, who didn't graduate from college, said, hey, man, you over here, you got a book and stuff like that? I wasn't embarrassed. And he said, you know what? I'm kind of doing insurance and I kind of sell too, but you're not really getting that much traffic over here. You should go down to Court Street in Brooklyn. There's a lot of people there. There's more traffic. I'll pick you up tomorrow. So I went down to Court Street. I positioned myself right near like a bagel person. And within an hour, I sold 30 books.
Wow.
So now I made $300.
Oh,
that was like amazing. Oh. So now we're looking at like.
I know you were excited.
Super excited because this is the year 2000. So you're making $300 like within an hour. So within the time, I started coming back day by day. And then one day I met this lady and she said, you know what? I think your book, because of the wholesome image, would be great for schools. Here's my number. I want you to see if you could become a vendor with the Board of Education. So, you know, when you have that fast money and it's starting to get to you, I wasn't really considering that, but I remember my mother who was away, and I said, if I tell my mother I had this opportunity, I didn't do anything, I'm gonna hear her mouth every single day. And she was actually out of the country. So it was like 2 weeks before she came back. I called the number, and the lady's like, "Man, it's been a long time. Why didn't you call me? I love your book. I read it. It's awesome. Here's a number. See if you become a vendor." So I went through the process of calling and being a vendor, and I met this lady. The process was different, and they approved my book. And then I was like one of the first people ever to own a publishing company to get a contract with the board of ed that owned its own publishing company, and I got it in one day. It's never been done.
Wow.
In New York City. So within there,
great story.
I just started hitting the streets. It was really guerrilla marketing. And with another author, um, I convinced her to also write a book. She wasn't a writer then. And we started going to so now back then now, when you're soliciting schools, you have to call them. There was no cell phones at that time. Cell phones had just kind of come in. So you weren't really calling people on your cell phones and stuff like that yet. So I had to get the phone book. I had to get on the internet. I had to print stuff to find out all the schools that I could think of in New York City. Because now that I had the contract. So the contract allows you to solicit schools, but it doesn't give you an amount of money that you can make. It's up to you. So I say that to say, within 8 to 9 years, I did a lot of different things and end up being featured in the New York Times. I'm the first author ever in New York City to have a full page ad in the New York Times that owns its own publishing company. And within a 2-year period that they were marketing me, I sold 50,000 copies through guerrilla marketing. And at the time.
Sheesh.
Without the middleman.
Huh?
I said without the middleman. I mean,
this
is what our show is about. This is the reason why, we have people
and
like
it was guerrilla marketing, and it just was really an important situation. And I won't name the company, but then the big guys started coming in. And I think that during that time, I was offered deals and stuff, and I turned those things down. In retrospect, I'm happy that I did that because I never wrote books to make money. My purpose was to get people to read. Like the more that you read, the more that you know. And reading is a skill that we know that due to the historical aspect, we weren't allowed to read. So I think that information is key. And for you to be informed, you have to research. And for you to research, you have to read. You can always get information from somebody telling you something, but that makes you a bigger slave than before, because if I give you the wrong information, then you're going to go with that information. So I say all that to say is that, from the amount of books that I've sold at the time, I was, considered to be in the Self-Publishing Hall of Fame. I've been on HBO. I've done stuff with NFL. I've done stuff with the USA Network through the stuff that I have. And I continue to still do creative writing workshops. Like I said, I have published books for other people, and that is something that I enjoy, but I don't really do it too often because being that I understand how the game is, I personally didn't feel comfortable with signing someone and giving them the pennies that most people get when they sign, right? Because typically speaking, if you get an advance, it may be $10,000, very similar to the record business. And most authors only get like a cent to 10 cents per copy that they sell, right? So like I said, I'm pre-Amazon. So I'm there before Amazon had this different split. So I'm pre all those people. And basically, I would say that being an entrepreneur is it's a battle, and it's something you have to love the art. And with all the technology coming in now today, I have to now rebrand myself, right? So now I'm getting into other different avenues. I'm incorporating AI. I'm incorporating other different people to give a different perspective on how to consume literature and how we engage with literature by using technology through phones, through QR codes, through different things as well too. So that's kind of where I am today, and it's led me to moving into music now. So I've created a couple of EPs.
Well, let's talk about that when we come right back. We're going to take a quick break, and when we're going to come back, I want to get into music, man. This is some really, really great stories. It's bringing me back to the day people used to sell, cassettes and CDs out of the back of their trucks, and this is
that was a thing?
this is what our generation, need to hear and understand, and understand how really fortunate they are, that we have all of these tools that we're going to talk about a little bit later on, to kind of get rid of, like I said, the middleman and do it yourself. One of the things that resonated with his story is the fact he didn't sell out. He didn't make that deal. He decided to, I'm doing all of this work. Let me keep and he's absolutely right. Those advances are really tricks. They really are. We'll be right back, folks. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to content developed by the GoPro Radio Network, the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
Hi, I'm Shawnee, and whenever I want to listen to something profound and I'm having a moment, I go to GoPro Radio, the fastest growing network in the galaxy.
A connection you can count on.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a great opportunity. If you have an event, product, business, talent, and/or something important to say, now is your chance. You can have your very own radio show. Whether you're just starting out or a veteran looking for a professional platform to enhance your presentation and following, the GoPro Radio Network is the premier place to cultivate and share new and exciting content. We can help you grow your audience and keep it growing long after your first broadcast. Now you have a voice. Call 646-415-0990 or go to www.goproradio.com. That's www.goproradio.com. You'll be amazed at how easy and affordable it is to have your own professional radio show on the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
The views and opinions expressed on GoPro Radio Network shows are solely those of the speakers and are not necessarily the views or opinions of GoPro Radio Network Inc. or its affiliates. These broadcasts are provided on the understanding that they do not constitute professional advice or services. Individuals who speak on these broadcasts express their own opinions, experiences, and conclusions. GoPro Radio Networks and its affiliates do not necessarily endorse or oppose any particular opinion or conclusion discussed in these broadcasts. You may not edit or modify or redistribute these broadcasts in any way without the express permission from GoPro Radio, LLC. GoPro Radio assumes no liability for any of your activities in connection with our broadcast or for your use of these broadcasts in connection with your website, computer, smartphone, tablet, iPad, or future listening devices. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
Welcome to the GoPro Radio Network. We're the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio. Listen to the voices in your head. I know I do.
Potential. Everyone's got potential, right? But it will remain just that unless you act on it. You've got to do something new.
You got this.
To get somewhere new.
Let me see. Dad, have a look.
Is it scary?
Be fine.
Sure. But potential never fades. It simply waits for the day you use it. So go on, make that one day today.
Whether you're growing your business,
Okay, can we take our seats, please?
switching careers, or just starting out, it all starts with skills. Search Skills for Life.
All right, we're back, and this is the Tantrum Artist Management Show. My name is Tylon, you Savior Washington, joined with my very special co-host, Dreamcast McFly. I guess is your microphone on? Yeah, we have I want to remind everybody too that don't forget.
I got a question, my man.
Yeah, but don't forget to join us, folks, tomorrow on the Colored Only Cafe. We have a very special guest coming on. People are going to be really, really shocked, surprised, in fact. The surprise guest that we have on tomorrow's Colored Only Cafe starts tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And also, let me just welcome once again all the folks who are watching us right now on Rumble. Folks, you know you can always join us here in the room. We made it super fast and easy for you to do so. All you have to do is go to GoProRadio.com. When you go to GoProRadio.com, click on that Join Live button at the top. Also, I want to give a big, huge shout out to I'm looking right now on Facebook and the comments. I want to say hello definitely to Suzanne. I want to say hello to Millie. Some of the other folks, if you're there and you also want to join and you want to talk to our guest, Jason A. Spenser Edwards, you can do so by just once again going to GoPro Radio, clicking on that Join Live. We made it super easy and fast and actually safe for you to do so, and you can engage in the conversation. By the way, folks, if you do have questions, put them in the chat. And so if we can't get to all the questions today, we'll definitely forward them to Jason, and I'm sure he'll be gracious enough to hopefully answer it and get back to you. And, Jason, that's another thing that I think. Do people come up to you and tell you, hey, the impact that your books have had on them?
Definitely. I've definitely been in a lot of situations where over the years and even to this day, I have parents, letters, I have people come to the street. And the craziest thing is at the beginning of the year, I went to a school, so I'm really showing my age now. I went to a school and a person that I actually gave a book to is now a teacher. And he said that my book was what made him wanted to be a teacher. So I'm really literally living full circle to be able to see, the impact of what they do. And I think that that's the impact of literature and also music, right? Like we have a lot of different entrepreneurs and people that are, tuning in. And I would just say that you have to live your art and you have to be in a situation where you can't care. And I've also been guilty of that at times where you don't want to do certain things because you feel like you're past certain things, but you always have to act like nobody knows who you are when people may know who you are, because there are billions of people in the world, right? So I think what happened, everybody doesn't know you, right? So there's always an opportunity for you to increase your viewership and increase the individuals that may love the products or the things that you have.
Well, what's so really outstanding is even still today, your books like I Got It Made, A Valuable Lesson, True Grifter, all of these books, I think, still resonate. And I think it speaks to, a certain level, not only of you being authentic and tapping into, I think, what a lot of young people really think and care about. Because a lot is either people are talking over adolescents or they're giving them baby talk. So you found that sweet spot, and and I think your voice continues to grow and continues to shape a lot of conversations around adolescence growth and adolescence identity and how adolescents really or young adults really navigate with fewer and fewer resources and a more tougher reality. Because I remember when you said $300 in 2000, in the year 2000, in 2016, that's $30,000.
Correct.
The economy is just so, different. Gas prices are $6. The average rent in New York City is $5,000. So making money, and you did it really. What people would consider from the mud. You didn't have anybody really like. Coming around, and the people that came around, they came around at the point where you really didn't need them. You already did the heavy lifting.
I think what ends up happening is that you just have to keep believing in your dream and keep moving. And I just think as a person that's an entrepreneur, as well as an artist and a creative, it never stops. So I still have to rebrand myself. So I'm at the thing now of making sure that I make that transition now between what's going on with AI and all this different technology and incorporating that into my new books and new things I'm creating, as well as going back and starting to go over the older stuff that I have and incorporating new different things to the books that I'm doing at the present moment as well too.
Well, I think it's all storytelling, because I want to get into the music, because I promised to talk about that before we went to break, and I wanted to, because music is another form of storytelling, folks. If you in case you don't know,
100%.
And so you did, in terms of the literary work, you did a fantastic and phenomenal job. I can't wait to hear the manifestation of the way that you think and your approach towards doing things translate into music. Can we talk a little bit about your music? I know I don't want to give away. I know you're working, and he's really top
definitely.
Guys. If you can give us a little.
Yeah, definitely. So what I did is that I was able to, which is very, very, very interesting, is that I was able to, as almost like when sometimes as an artist, right, your life is art, right? So going through different personal issues, which I won't really get into, it got me to the point where I decided that I needed to hear other voices, right? And what way better to get a message across through something that we all love, which is music, right? Whatever kind of music that you love. So within that time, because it all started way back then, I said, you know what? Since I'm a writer and there's music, I should be able, let me try to write a song. So within a half an hour, I wrote like 4 songs.
Wow.
So within that half an hour, I wrote 4 songs from different perspectives, just like I'm an author, right? So I wrote a story from a female's perspective, a song, and from a male's perspective. And then after that, I decided that I had all these beats in my head. And I hooked up with I hooked up with a producer from India, and I hooked up with a producer from Nigeria.
Wow.
And I told them these are what I wanted the beats to sound like. And we went over the different instruments. And this is all things that I've never done in my life, right? Even though I've been around people that's been in the music business, etc., and never wanted to be part of that. And then I just end up creating different concepts. So within the time that I decided all these things, I wanted to really be honest, to make music that your grandmother could listen to, right? So I wanted to make music that had great beats, that was positive, but in a way that everyone could appreciate it. So within that time, I wanted to be, because I always feel like including everyone. So I created beats and concepts that I co-wrote with the different artists in rap, R&B, reggae, gospel, Afro beats,
Wow.
country music, and soul, and everything. So I decided to do all the different genres, and I created these different songs, and I co-wrote some of them, and I also spoke with, I kind of like interviewed like different singers. So I had a Nigerian girl who was able to do a lot of my female stuff. I had a Caucasian lady who did some country music and reggae music for me as well. And then I had another guy who was actually Indian, and who was a signed artist at a point. I made him for the first time in his life do gospel and praise music, even though he was doing secular music. So I was able to create some songs that are really timeless, and I'm going to be putting those out. And even some of the songs that I wrote, my initial 2, 3 songs, I had some Grammy Award winning. I had a Grammy Award winning, not winning, somebody that was actually
Nominated?
nominated to wanted to redo one of my songs that I wrote myself. So, within that particular time, I really wanted to just get that message across. And these are the things that I have been doing. And like I said, I have tons of music now that I will be putting out. And that's kind of what it is. And
All
like
right.
I said, if you guys want to even hear anything, I mean, I guess if I could figure out how to share a screen, I even have a single
Yeah.
for you if you want to do
Oh
it.
man, we would love that. Let's save that for the end to keep people watching all the way to the end. That's right. We're gonna have a special treat. You're gonna get an opportunity to hear it first on the Tantrum Artist Management
And then I
Show.
also have it with, let me look to see um if I could
Put some graphics
show
on it.
you a video. So
Oh,
let
okay.
me see if I can figure it out as well too.
Yes,
Because
yes.
us old folks, we gotta figure out how to do it.
Oh, stop, no, stop. We might get older, but we never get old. Let me say hello. Let
That's
me
right.
say hello.
That's right,
Let me say
man.
hello to all the folks who are watching, and we got questions. And I know Dream has a question. I know he's been quiet. I know he's been itching. Like, okay,
Oh
I
yeah,
want
talk to me,
no.
Dream.
I got a big question, my man.
Go ahead.
So here's my thing. Like Jiggy being the story about people not being a slave to their possessions, but still want to be fly. I want to ask you. I'm involved with the fashion world. What would you
Yes.
say are like sneakers of all time?
You broke
Oh my
up a little
goodness,
bit.
look at you where you going. I
Is
would say,
my mic on?
yeah, your bike is on. I would say that the most stylish sneakers are definitely always going to be Jordans, right? Like that's kind of what it is. But I would say I'm trying to figure out what is one of the Nike Cortez is my favorite, right? Um, that would be
Yeah,
my
your
favorite
top
because
five.
that was that would be one of my top five is the Nike Cortez. Another one for comfort is going to be the Huaraches, right? The Nike Huaraches, right? Let me see, that's two. Number three, you really stretching me now, Dream. Let me think about it. I would say that another one would be the pumps, right? The Shaq pumps. That's another one,
Oof.
right? Um, okay, number four. Let's go classic. So we gotta do no, and you probably even know these. Elise. Elise had some sneakers. Elise or Alessi is just like of like a tennis type of thing. And I gotta go with the and I can't not have the thing because I love them. We gotta go with the shell top Adidas. We have to. We gotta go with the shell top Adidas, and
Adidas.
those would be my top five. I had a pair
Classic.
of shell top Adidas, and I had the red snakeskin stripes, which were burgundy. So that was it. Right there. That's it.
Do you still have those sneakers?
No, I wish I did.
You should put them on your website. Pictures of your.
I need to.
That would be really. We got some questions. We got some questions coming in. I know folks
Sure.
on whatchamacallit. Let's take just a couple of questions because I want to get into this music. And by the way, man, you know when you're having a good time, you know what happens, right? Time flies. We have another show coming up in another 10 minutes with Juicy Land. That's right. It's all
Definitely.
about.
So
it's
what
called
I'll
The
do
Pleasure
is
Palace.
that I don't have the video, but I'll just play the song.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a song that I had, and it's about smoke. So let me play it.
All right. You hear it
Oh
first.
no. This is called the Master Sculpture,
All right.
and she speaks in Nigerian.
Bringing hate for men. Didn't understand why the breaking had to be. Till I saw what you were making of me. You don't see it while you're going through the pain. All the pressure feels like nothing but a strain. But every moment there is higher stakes. Important every move I make. You know my exact every step, every way. Even when it's more than
I'm hearing it like through your speakers. I'm not getting that full dynamic. You know, it's like I'm hearing it going through the speakers, so I'm barely hearing the thing.
Huh?
Is that the experience everybody's getting?
Yeah.
Or is it just me? Yeah. I'm hearing it through your speakers, or through your mic. I'm not hearing it like raw, so it's coming out. It's a little difficult to hear. Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
You're sharing your screen, and I can see it, and I see you playing it, but the audio, I think
The audio, you don't hear it.
Yeah, it's not good. I'm hearing it through your microphone, like through the.
Okay, so hold on one second. Let me see if I can fix that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
In the meantime, while you're doing that, right, just so that we got we don't lose any juice here. Let's go to some of the questions. I'm gonna prioritize the questions for the people who are actually here in the room, in the VIP room, the very impressive, intelligent people room. And let's see. Lydia, does you have a question? I can't hear anything. Amanda says, "You have a common sense approach to growth in business. Do you think you'll write a book about guerrilla business?" Oh, that would be that's a good idea. To do a book about business.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Definitely, I definitely would do that, but also I've learned so much over the years that I'm also willing to, Tylon could always give me my information, is to give you guys some information as what it is. I've learned so much and I've made my mistakes. So if you wanted to know any specific questions or anything, I would gladly be able to speak to you and tell you different things. And, like I said, everything is not saying that it's not, and it could be a fault of my own, but everything is also not about charging. So I definitely would do that. Anyone that I can help go through the path and be able to curtail some of the, not the mistakes or the missteps that I made, then I would gladly give you as much information as possible.
Right. I love that. I mean, as a matter of fact, that's the sort of rent we pay for, being here on this planet, experiencing this wonderful level of consciousness. I like that aspect of, paying it forward and giving and reaching out. And then Jacqueline has a question. How can people reach you? Do you have like an Instagram? Yeah, let's make sure that we get all of that stuff.
Don't kill me, guys. I have to give you my email address, and right now I'm pulled up.
Beautiful.
I'm bad with that stuff yet because I haven't. Can you believe it? Like I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on Facebook. I mean, I have a website and different things like that too, but I'm mainly just deal with my email and my cell phone number, which Tylon can provide, and you guys can do that directly. I'm a little old school on that thing, but I still like.
I don't say that. That's how people are surprised. They say, "How do you have the GoPro Radio Network? How are you like one of the owners of this network?" And I don't have Instagram. I'm not on TikTok. I mean, I have people posting things for me, like on LinkedIn and things like that. But me myself is like I'm like all thumbs. I still got one foot in MySpace and the other foot in Facebook. But now since then, there's so many new platforms and places where people are meeting and connecting. It's like I just can't keep up. It's like it's always some new. And now they have this other thing called, what's this thing? Thread or something like that.
Yes, I heard something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a new Twitter.
It's like a new Twitter. I'm like, okay, I can't. So I'll let somebody, because you know what it is. We're also busy doing the work. We're busy creating and having actual brick and mortar meetings. We don't have a lot of time to do the social media thing. But that's an important strategy in terms of getting the word out and people familiar. Thanks for the questions. We're running out of time. I'm going to put those other questions. Let's see if we can hear this one. Okay, let's try.
All right, so let me try now here and see what you guys hear. This is called like smoke and fire. Can you hear it?
No, I'm hearing it the same way. Like I can hear your speakers. Or maybe if you have a microphone, maybe you might want. No, well, it's going to be the same way. It's not going to. Maybe if you can you send it to me in the? Forget it. That's going to be too much rigmarole. At this way. Well, next time, this way we get people. Okay. This way we'll get the people to tune in next time, because we're going to have them in next month. So in another month we're going to have Jason come back and then we're gonna really talk about the music. Because time went by fast, Jason. We didn't have a chance
Sure did.
because I really wanted to explore like the music, like you were talking about the process. I want to talk about the process that you're using. You know why? Because what I like about your approach, you have still that 1 foot in, you know, some of the what I would call not in this virtual thing, and people don't understand there's a balance between what you do virtually and then some of the what I call the brick and mortar work, you know, and how those two spaces merge. And we just didn't have the opportunity to really talk about that because you have some people that do so much virtually, and they don't get up and out and meet the people. You know, they don't go out and one of the things that you did was like, you know, marketing. You went out with the books. You went out, and that's how you got a sense of it. You didn't say, "Hey, I just think that it's good and it's awesome, and let me just put it and post it." People don't understand how the internet works. It's like a huge yellow page. People still have to know that you're there, and one of the ways that you can let people know that you're there is through actually going out, meeting the people who are going to be your supporters, who are going to be your family, who's going to be your fan base, who are going to be the people who are going to actually like, share, and give you their email address, which is like one of the most important things so they can stay, you know, connected to you. And you can make them aware of, you know, new sales or, you know, whatever things that you got going on. And it could be, you know, part of, you know, what I call your friends and family network. So in expanding that network is actually going out sometimes and shaking real people's hands, you know, or going out like I know you did with your book tour in certain bookstores, sitting down, talking to people and getting their feedback that now you could use to further develop a strategy to reach more and more people. So, you know, with that, folks, you know, we got to get out of here. Thank you so much for joining us, Jason. I think that it's incredible because I know how busy you are and how hectic things are for you right now. We really do appreciate that. I really appreciate the questions, folks. And like I said, I'm going to forward, I promise you, I'm going to forward these questions to Jason. And then, he'll get back to you in the best way and ways that he can, probably through an email. But let's make sure that we stay connected because we're building the family here. And I want to thank everybody for being here. And I want you to continue to like and share our content. I want to thank all the folks who I'm checking them out on Facebook. Now we got 56 folks, and they're chatting, about this. This is so wonderful. I like the likes. Please share. We get all these wonderful likes. Oh, you got the like and the share button is like right over it. So you move your finger. If you have a mouse, move the mouse a few inches over. And this is how we can really, what do you call that? Upset the algorithm. Because the algorithm is set up in a way where they are going to limit how many people can see a lot of the content and a lot of the things that we're doing. So we're really relying on you to share the stuff. Thank you so much for being here. You don't have to go home, but we have to get out of here for now. Up next, folks, you don't want to go anywhere because we're going to be talking about relationships on the Pleasure Palace. We're going to be talking about, once again, the issue I know with cheating. And my position is going to be black men can't cheat. So I know you're going to find it's not in our DNA. Yeah, black men don't cheat. We don't know about that stuff. But anyway, yeah. So don't go anywhere. Stick around, and we'll be right back.